The GTU leader, car number 7, the Mazda RX-7, the Japanese team of Katayama, Terada, and Urino. And the number 77, Jim Downing, Walt Warren, and Roger Mandeville's RX-7.
Daytona Beach is ordinarily a quiet, beautiful resort on the east coast of Florida. But every February, Daytona comes alive with the excitement of one of the two most famous 24-hour endurance races in the world. Along with Le Mans, France, Daytona Beach is the birthplace of automotive legends. A win at Daytona, which requires the ultimate in engine durability and suspension engineering, is unmistakable proof of superiority. The world's foremost grand touring cars, Porsches, Ferraris, BMWs, and others all come to Daytona. Some of these brutally powerful machines develop more than 900 horsepower. It'll be interesting to see if Mazda's two-rotor rotary engine, displacing only 70 cubic inches, can survive 24 hours of racing against such competitors. World-famous racers such as Jackie Ickx are here. Paul Newman, the famous movie star turned racing driver, is also one of the competitors. It's February 3rd and the 1979 running of Daytona is about to begin. It'll last through the entire night and into the next day. Number 77, the white Mazda RX-7 with orange stripes, is driven by the American team of Walt Boren, Jim Downing, and Roger Mandeville. Number 7, the RX-7 with green stripes, is driven by the Japanese team of Yoshimi Katayama, Yojiro Terada, and Takashi Urino. The two RX-7s have generated a great deal of attention at this year's Daytona race. Although not as large or awesome looking as the fabulously expensive Porsche 935 or Ferrari 512 BB, these two small, graceful machines have become popular favorites. Katayama is the first of the Japanese team to drive car number 7. The moment has come for the small rotary engine to be put to the ultimate test of durability and performance. For the next 24 hours, if they can endure, the cars will be driven continuously at extremely high speed, fast enough to cover up to 2,200 miles, roughly the distance between Los Angeles and Chicago. At 4:23 in the afternoon, 68 machines from all over the world take the green flag. With a thundering roar, the race is on. 58 cars, although competing with one another, are also competing in their own classes. The RX-7s are in the GTU class, Grand Touring under 2.5 liters, and are running against Datsun 240Zs, Lancia, Triumph, and a field of Porsche 914s and 911s, which have long dominated GTU long-distance races. During the 24-hour race, 3 drivers take turns at about 3-hour intervals. The race will be a grueling and exhausting test for the drivers, but even more so for the car. In order to win at Daytona, a car must not only survive 24 hours of competitive racing, but do so at continuously high engine RPMs. In the pre-race strategy meeting, it was decided that the American RX-7 team, driving car number 77, would keep the engine speed under 8,000 RPM. The Japanese RX-7 team, driving car number 7, would go as high as 8,500 RPM. Both engine speeds are below the maximum potential of the 12A rotary engine, but there's no prize for going fast and not finishing. Winning is balancing blazing speed with endurance, as did last year's GTU victor, a Porsche 911. The 2 RX-7s run with an unmistakable exhaust sound, a roar that seems to affirm the confidence of the rotary engine designers. Into the race, when the glittering Florida sun turns a sullen red, car number 7 comes into the pits for its first refueling. Car number 77 also comes in for refueling. Inspections of the engines, the suspensions, and the entire cars show no problems. Such is not the case with some other cars, which are forced out of the race due to engine trouble. In the pitch blackness of the Florida night, their high-intensity racing headlights showing the way, the RX-7s run strongly, smoothly, steadily. Against such high-powered machines as the turbo Porsches and Ferraris, the RX-7 has already made it into the top 10.
The leader has crashed. The Reinhold Yost, Holger Burrow, Rolf Sutherland entry, is resting precariously out of the east.
Suddenly, the yellow flag is displayed, indicating an accident. The pace car comes onto the track. All cars run cautiously and no passing is permitted. Taking advantage of the break-in competition, car number 7 comes into the pit for a driver change sooner than scheduled. Katayama turns over the impressive running racer to his younger brother, Yorino. Number 77 also comes in for a driver change. Walt Thoren, getting out of the car, is optimistic about Mazda's prospects. He assures the crew that the engine is running very smoothly and everything is going just fine, and we're going to win. A calm, confident, almost relaxed atmosphere spreads among the team crew. The Japanese team driver, Katayama, gives detailed suggestions to Terada, the third driver. Katayama, perhaps the best racing driver in Japan, is characteristically low-key and confident. Many spectators who camped in the infield of the racetrack begin to prepare their dinners. Hours have passed. At the 190th lap, the Japanese team's RX-7 has climbed to the 5th overall position, gaining a place on the big board, the huge electric sign on the infield tower that displays car rankings. Never before in the long history of the Daytona 24-hour race has a GTU car made such a strong showing. The only 4 cars ahead of the RX-7 are turbo Porsches, whose engines are far larger and more powerful than those of any GTU entrant. The performance of the small engine RX-7s is not merely exceptional, it's phenomenal. Meanwhile, the incredible strains of Daytona racing is taking its toll. The Porsche Turbo driven by Jackie Ickx is forced to retire due to engine trouble. Other cars drop out with various problems. Car number 7 returns to the pit for refueling. The RX-7 goes back to the race as strongly as ever. The rotary engines are running to perfection. In the GTU class, there no longer remains any strong competition to the Mazdas. From here to the finish lines, the RX-7s will be battling the Porsches and Ferraris. Number 77, driven by the American team, passes car number 7. At the 400th lap, the 2 RX-7s are still among the top 5 cars in the overall standings, trailing only the extremely powerful Porsche turbos. The rotary engine is making an excellent show of endurance and reliability. The RX-7s never falter in their pursuit of the Porsche turbos. The night gives way to dawn and the cool and refreshing air of early morning. The 2 RX-7s are still running strongly, yet only 1/3 of the cars that started are still in the race. Mere survival is no easy task in a 24-hour endurance race. In the Japanese pit, the driver who will take the last turn, Terada, is waiting for the car. After Urino gets out, Terada climbs into the cockpit for the last time, with knowledge that the GTU class win is nearly assured. The American team member, Jim Downing, takes over as car number 77's last driver. At this moment, the leading car is the number 0 Porsche Turbo. In second place is the number 65 Ferrari Daytona, and in third place is car number 11, another Porsche Turbo. The 2 RX-7s, car number 7 and 77, are in the 5th and 6th positions overall, and the 1st and 2nd in the GTU class. The small displacement rotary engine RX-7s not only dominated their class during the 24 Hours of Daytona, they outdistanced and outlasted many of the world's most powerful and fastest racing cars. The two Mazda RX-7s run side by side to the finish line, their exhaust announcing their arrival, roaring to the world that the rotary engine can outperform anything in its class. The checkered flag is given to the RX-7s as they make Daytona history. Until now, it was said that any GTU car that finished among the top 20 positions overall would most likely win its class. The RX-7s, with their 5th and 6th positions overall, finished higher than any GTU machine in Daytona's history. They did this with merely 70 cubic inches of displacement against Porsches with turbochargers and Ferraris with 12 cylinders, against some of the world's best drivers and most seasoned pit crews, against the brutal requirements of 24 hours of all-out racing. At the 1979 running of Daytona, where legends are born and only the very best survive, the strength and durability of the rotary engine were vividly demonstrated to the entire world.